time, okay, and I did the lecture, and in the back there was a guy, and I always. And I thought, he looks like Franz Harari. So in the end, I asked the shop owner, and he looks like Franz Harari. And I no, he was Franz Harari. So that was a surprise to me. So
now, was he just visiting because he's from that area?
Yeah. He was there.
It just happened to be back in town.
It was very nice. And then I flew over Los Angeles, and I was on a farmer's market just to look around, to explore the city, and I saw him again, come in on his phone, and I stand right in his way, and he wanted to walk around me because he was phoning, and I went a step to the side to be in his, and he looked up, and he was totally confused, and till we realized how many miles are these between Detroit and
it's at least 2,500 miles.
And 2 days later, and hey, come on, LA is not a small city,
no.
so it's totally coincidence. These are one of these magical moments.
And you quipped when you wrote to me. You said, America, it's such a small place, which I thought was a funny way to sum it up. From Detroit to LA, and you run into the same guy within a couple of days.
And I never met him before, and after.
And after, so that's it. That was one of his greatest illusions, and he played it real low key.
I think so.
And then also you had something else funny happen to you again with another famous magician when you were performing in a theater in Madrid. and you were performing a particular trick, one which you hadn't invented, you were covering, doing some other material, and you're performing in this theater, and I don't remember which theater it was, but you're doing a card trick.
Yeah, right? It did a card trick at the final. It was the other half of Woody Aragon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the whole audience is involved and do this. It's a great piece, and it's the very first trick in his book, a book in English. Mm-hmm. Highly recommend. And I performed that, and after that, people told. I figured out that the owner of the theater was Woody Aragon.
Yeah, right. like the theater you're doing it in. You had no idea.
I had no idea. In my contacts that I had preset it from the guy who booked it for me was my contact person is Woody. So no second name, so I had no clue.
Yeah. And so, how did you find out? Because it had to be kind of funny, because you do it, and there's a great reaction, because it's a great trick and all that kind of stuff, and you're done. Did somebody just come over to you afterwards and go, hey, by the way, that trick you did? How did you find out?
I find it out because, you're right. You're right. After that, somebody told me that this is Woody's theater. But the funny part is, some weeks later, I flew to the Magic Castle, and Woody Aragon performed there, and we met there for the first time.
Yeah. So and did you tell him?
Yeah, I told him the story, of course. Yeah.
And then, a nice thing happens to performers like us when we travel around the world, and people, know that we're interested in various things and that kind of stuff, or know things about us as far as our appearance goes, and obviously for you, something that is your identity is the mustache, right? Mm-hmm. And some guy came up to you and asked you a question about your mustache. Yeah. And what did he say to you?
Some years ago, after a lecture in Copenhagen, a magician came to me and asked me, do you have your mustache already on socks? And I was a little bit confused by mustache on socks. So, okay. And I said, no. And then he handed out a pair of socks to me with little mustaches on. With
mustaches all over them. Yeah. Can you get in on them just for our friend? You can't really see the contrast very well, and there's little black mustaches on the gray socks.
And he told me where he get it, and I drove to the shop, and they had a whole wall of items with mustaches on there. And these days, you find it everywhere. It's so popular.
It became very popular. Like just a couple of years ago, all of a sudden there was everything you could get a mustache on. It was great. It was amazing, and you started it all. One story I have to hear, because I don't even know exactly what happened. In addition to funny stories, you also told me just a little bit about a horror story where you were doing an illusion, and it exploded, or you were backstage, or what? Tell me the details
Yeah, yeah.
about what happened with this thing.
Many few people know that at the beginning of my magic career, as a kid, I had a manipulation act, and also I had a big illusion act with a friend of mine. And we won the youth championships in Germany twice. And then we made it, that it was a competition act. So we were booked with this self-invented big illusions that we built by ourselves, and so on a little convention. And it is a kind of a substitution trunk, so a box you can totally open up in all directions to show it empty. And that was a first effect. So at the first effect, because we want to be very showy, and so 2 flash pots explodes, and they were built in the foots of the box.
Oh, sure, on the actual
rear.
box itself.
So,
Right.
So, and I was hidden out of view for the audience, very near to these flash pots. So the stage crews on the sides could see me, and because of we performed it often, there were rests of this powder, of this gunpowder, in the foot, and it was a very massive build. But this time, not only the flash pot exploded, but the whole foot.
The residue did, and that stuff. The residue doesn't just explode because it's so solid. It burns and there's a flame. And
it was a big explosion, and the construction was a tube that we have to prepare in the room and the wardrobe, and then so we just have to put it in, and it is it's all set. So, but because of the explosion, this tube was like a gun bullet up into the air, into a lightning. So it crashes the glass of this. It was a red one. So it rains red glass.
Oh, no.
The foot, which was very massive, was like so. I was very near. It doesn't happen something to me. Nothing. I was not hurt or something, but I was not allowed to move because of the trick.
Sure.
So the crew on the side see what happens, because everywhere was red glass, and this foot was broken away. So, and then my partner thought, okay, the show had to go on. So he started to build up the box, and when I moved, people knew. Everything is fine with me.
Oh yeah, right. They didn't know until now.
And we performed this illusion on 3 legs instead of 4, and made the substitution everything, and it was I will never forget.
Yeah. Did you continue to work with the explosives and that after that incident?
We made it more secure.
Yeah, right. That's the answer right there.
By using professional built flash pots.
Yeah.
and we have it external and not built in the illusion.
Let that be a lesson.
But this
do it professionally and safely and from a distance.
How long is it? More than 25 years ago.
Yeah,
so.
and honestly, none of that kind of technology is really used anymore. Most people are going to CO2 and smoke and just fake fires.